Pandora Protocol pitch. Genre: legal thriller, medical drama, conspiracy. Format: multi-season series. Logline: in the wake of a global pandemic, a lawyer, a scientist, and a tech expert come together to expose the dark truth behind a major pharmaceutical company's COVID-19 vaccine. They risk their lives and careers to hold them accountable for a dangerous cover-up that led to thousands of injuries and deaths. Series overview. Pandora Protocol is a high-stakes thriller that combines intense courtroom drama, cutting-edge scientific discovery, and a massive conspiracy by powerful institutions. At its core, the series explores the lengths people are willing to go to uncover the truth about corporate greed and governmental complicity, all while navigating the ethical complexities of modern medicine. Set in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, the series follows the journey of individuals who risk everything to expose the dangerous side effects of a vaccine, revealing a world where scientific research, legal integrity, and public trust are all on the line. The show combines the tension of legal dramas like Michael Clayton, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, and A Civil Action, with the investigative intensity of Spotlight and The Insider. It touches on contemporary issues of vaccine safety, corporate malfeasance, political corruption, and public health, while weaving a narrative of personal loss, scientific discovery, and the fight for justice. Key characters. 1. Jenny Montoya, a brilliant, no-nonsense lawyer leading the class action lawsuit against Bioxtec. She lost her job with a class action law firm because she wouldn't take the vaccine. Motivated by revenge and justice for the victims of the vaccine, she navigates the cutthroat world of corporate defense with intellect and passion. 2. Vishad Khan, a venture capitalist whose wife collapsed on a tennis court and died. He learns that her death may have been caused by the COVID vaccine. His quest for justice turns into a relentless legal battle that helps expose Bioxtec's wrongdoings. 3. Miriam Kincaid, a protein researcher with a background in molecular biology. She becomes interested in vaccine problems because of her personal experience with menstrual changes. Her computer expert, a young black man, suffers from myocarditis caused by the vaccine. She loses her job because she persists in investigating these problems while seeking better ways to treat the problems. 4. Shirley Penrose, a doctor who has researched problems with vaccines for many years. She contributes insights into the ways that vaccines can harm people. 5. Ted Dodd, a financial manager who applies his math skills to analyzing the deaths and injuries from the vaccines. He estimates that more than 1 million Americans have died from the vaccines. 6th Dr. Peter Leugner, a prominent vaccine expert called by the defense to testify in support of Bioxtec's vaccine. His testimony becomes a key battleground as the prosecution uncovers his ties to the pharmaceutical industry. 7th Dr. Rochelle Benaleski, the former director of the CDC, brought in by the defense to testify. She becomes a target for cross-examination when her previous public statements are revealed to be misleading and false. 8th Dr. Stephen Hand, former FDA commissioner, who struggles with the weight of his decisions under political pressure. His testimony becomes crucial in revealing the political manipulation behind the vaccine's approval. Themes. 1. Justice and accountability. The series explores how the powerful can manipulate systems for personal gain and how those who stand against them fight to expose the truth. At the heart of the show is the pursuit of justice, not only for the victims but for public health and truth. 2. Science and ethics. The story grapples with the unintended consequences of hasty scientific decisions and the moral dilemmas of advancing medicine for the sake of progress and profit. 3. Corporate political corruption and cover-ups. At its core, Pandora Protocol exposes the pervasive corporate greed that can prioritize profits over lives. The show scrutinizes the unethical practices of the pharmaceutical industry and the political powers that protect them. reflecting societal concerns about corporate influence over health and safety. 4. Conspiracy and Trust. The series delves into the broader issue of societal trust in government institutions and corporations. The conspiracy to cover up the vaccine's dangers reflects a larger theme about the struggle to trust those in power, especially when their actions put people's lives at risk. Visual style. The visual style of Pandora Protocol would emphasize the tension between the sterile, clinical world of medicine and the gritty, high-stakes atmosphere of a legal drama. The courtroom scenes would be tense and dramatic, with close-ups on the witnesses and subtle visual cues to show the psychological pressure building. Meanwhile, the research and scientific elements would have a sleek, futuristic feel, with high-tech simulations and laboratory scenes giving the show a sharp, modern aesthetic. At the same time, there is medical drama because of the serious problems faced by real people. The tone would be serious, intelligent, and emotionally charged, with a sense of urgency that mirrors the gravity of the issues being explored. Target audience. The target audience for Pandora Protocol includes viewers who enjoy complex legal dramas, conspiracy thrillers, and stories centered around public health and ethics. The show will resonate with ages 25 to 50. These viewers are likely engaged in current issues surrounding public health, medicine, and corporate accountability, with a strong interest in social justice and conspiracy. Professionals in law and science. This series will appeal to those working in the fields of law, medicine, biotechnology, and technology due to its focus on both the legal battle and scientific investigation. Socially and politically engaged audiences, viewers who are critical of corporate and governmental influence, will appreciate the show's exploration of power dynamics, manipulation, and the quest for transparency. Psychographics. The psychographic profile of the audience for Pandora Protocol would likely reflect individuals with specific attitudes, interests, and values related to themes of corporate accountability, justice, science, and public health. Here's an in-depth breakdown of the psychographic profile. 1. Values and beliefs. Justice and accountability. The audience would resonate with themes of corporate greed, corruption, and the pursuit of justice. They are likely to value fairness, transparency, and holding powerful entities accountable for their actions. Skepticism of authority. The story's focus on government and corporate cover-ups will attract an audience that is skeptical of large institutions, including pharmaceutical companies and government organizations. They may have a distrust of the mainstream narrative and be more inclined to seek alternative viewpoints. Scientific integrity and health awareness. Audiences who value science and evidence-based decision-making, particularly in health and medicine, will appreciate the scientific investigation angle, especially as it challenges conventional narratives about vaccine safety. Social justice. The storyline involving a large group of plaintiffs and a focus on the harm done to ordinary people appeals to those who care deeply about social justice and the protection of vulnerable populations. 2. Interests, health and medicine. Given the focus on the COVID-19 vaccine and its effects, the audience is likely to have a strong interest in public health issues, medical research, and medical ethics. Legal drama and thrillers. The courtroom drama, complex legal strategy, and the exposure of corporate malpractice will draw in audiences who enjoy legal thrillers or true crime dramas. Conspiracy and cover-ups. A segment of the audience might be attracted to stories that involve uncovering conspiracies or exposing hidden truths, especially regarding government and corporate actions. Technology and innovation. The use of AI, data analysis, and advanced simulation software in the plot appeals to those interested in technology and its applications in modern problem solving, especially in the context of health and law. 3. Lifestyle and behavior. Critical thinkers. The audience is likely to be composed of individuals who pride themselves on their critical thinking skills. They may be inclined to question official narratives and are interested in deep dives into controversial topics like vaccine safety and corporate influence, socially and politically active. This audience may include individuals who are politically and socially aware, particularly in regard to public health, corporate power, and governmental regulation. They may be engaged in discussions about individual rights, freedoms, and societal well-being, engaged in advocacy or activism. Given the story's emphasis on taking down a powerful corporation and fighting for justice, the audience may also include individuals who are involved in advocacy or activism related to consumer rights, public health, or transparency. Fourth, emotional drivers. Empathy for the underprivileged or victimized. The audience will likely empathize with the victims of the vaccine's adverse effects, which aligns with a broader interest in protecting marginalized or vulnerable groups from harm caused by powerful institutions. Desire for change and reform. Viewers are likely to be driven by a desire for social, political, and scientific reform. They would be motivated by stories that show individuals or groups challenging the status quo and working toward meaningful change. Frustration with bureaucracy and corruption. A certain portion of the audience will have an emotional connection to the frustrations of navigating through bureaucratic systems, particularly when those systems are perceived as corrupt or failing to serve the public interest. Comparable movies. 1. The Insider, 1999. Similar themes: corporate corruption, whistleblowers, and exposing the truth. 2. Michael Clayton, 2007. Similar themes: legal thriller, corporate manipulation, and moral dilemmas. 3. The China Syndrome, 1979. Similar themes: corporate malfeasance, public safety, and cover-ups. 4. The Rainmaker, 1997. Similar themes: legal drama, corporate greed, and justice. 5. A Civil Action, 1998. Similar themes: environmental hazards, corporate wrongdoing, and legal battle. 6. Erin Brockovich, 2000. Similar themes: legal drama, corporate responsibility, and public health. 7. Contagion, 2011. Similar themes: public health crisis, medical ethics, and corporate influence. 8. The Parallax View, 1974. Similar themes: conspiracy, cover-ups, and government corruption. 9. Thank You for Smoking, 2005. Similar themes: corporate manipulation, legal strategy, and exposing truths. 10th. Spotlight, 2015. Similar themes: investigative journalism, exposing the truth, and accountability. Why this story will work. Pandora Protocol combines contemporary themes of health, justice, and corporate corruption with a gripping legal thriller narrative. The global relevance of the story's themes, corporate malfeasance, public health crises, and legal battles for truth, will resonate with audiences seeking to understand the real-world impact of decisions made by large pharmaceutical companies and government agencies. The show's strong characters, intricate plotting, and timely themes will make it a must-watch for viewers who appreciate complex, multi-layered storytelling.